He didn't notice it at first. It just felt like being tired. Not the kind of tired you fix with sleep, but the kind that shows up after being around people. Conversations that weren't even stressful. Texts that seemed normal. Simple moments that somehow left him feeling empty. He started to wonder why he needed so much time alone. Why saying yes felt heavier every time. Why being a good person was slowly becoming exhausting. And the strange part was, no one was doing anything wrong. They liked him, they trusted him, they depended on him. So why did it feel like he was disappearing a little more every day? It wasn't something people noticed about him. If anything, they would have said he was easy to be around. Always calm, always understanding, always the one who didn't make things complicated. At work, he was the person who never pushed back. If someone needed help, he stayed longer. If something extra came up, he handled it. It just felt easier to say yes than to explain why he couldn't. With friends, it was the same. He laughed when he was supposed to laugh. He listened longer than anyone else. He remembered small details, things people forgot about themselves. And somehow, people got used to that version of him. The one who was always available. The one who never needed much. The one who didn't say no. Even in small moments, it showed up, choosing what others wanted to eat, agreeing with opinions he didn't fully share, letting things go even when they bothered him, not because he didn't have his own thoughts, but because it felt easier to keep things smooth than to risk changing how people saw him. At some point, he stopped asking himself what he actually wanted, and no one noticed. Because from the outside, everything about him still looked perfectly fine. It didn't change all at once. It was small at first. Easy to ignore. A quiet pause before replying to a message, staring at his phone. Not because he was busy, but because he didn't feel like answering. A slight hesitation before saying yes, even though he still said it anyway. Moments where he wanted to leave early, but stayed. Not because he had to, but because it felt wrong not to. And then something else started to show up. He would get home, sit down, and feel completely drained. Not physically, just empty. Like every conversation had taken something with it, something he couldn't name. He tried to make sense of it. Maybe he was just tired. Maybe he needed more sleep. Maybe he was overthinking. But the feeling didn't go away. If anything, it got clearer. Because even in the middle of conversations, he started noticing it. That moment when someone asked for something, and before he answered, there was a split second of resistance. A quiet no that never made it out. And every time he ignored it, something inside him felt smaller. It got harder to ignore after that, because the feeling didn't just come at night anymore. It followed him everywhere. In conversations, in silence. Even in moments that were supposed to feel normal, someone would ask him for a favor, and he'd smile, nod, say yes, but inside, something tightened. Not anger, not frustration, just quiet heaviness. Like he was agreeing to something he didn't fully mean. And the strange part was, he didn't know what he actually wanted instead. He just knew. It didn't feel right anymore. He started noticing how often it happened, how quickly he adjusted himself, changed his tone, shifted his opinions, just to keep things smooth, just to make sure no one felt uncomfortable. But somewhere in that process, he was the only one who kept disappearing. There were moments, small ones, where he almost said no. You could feel it right there, on the edge. But then something always stopped him. That thought, that subtle fear. That if he didn't show up the same way, people might see him differently. And for some reason, that felt worse than being exhausted. So he kept going, kept agreeing, kept being easy, even when it started to feel like he wasn't really there anymore. It didn't happen during anything important. No big moment, no argument. No one said anything that stood out. It was just a small question. Someone asked him for a favor, something simple, something he would have said yes to, without thinking. And like always, he felt it again. That pause, that quiet moment before answering. But this time, he didn't rush past it. He stayed there for a second longer, long enough to notice something different. It wasn't just hesitation. It felt like he was about to ignore something. Something honest, something that had been there every time, but never given a voice. And for the first time, he saw it clearly. It wasn't about being nice. It wasn't about helping people. It wasn't even about them. It was that feeling that if he didn't say yes, something about him might not be enough. And that thought had been quietly deciding everything for him. After that, nothing really changed. Still showed up, still replied, still said yes sometimes. From the outside, everything looked exactly the same. But something was different, because now he could feel it. That moment before answering, that quiet voice he used to ignore, it didn't go away. It just waited. And for the first time, he didn't rush to silence it. There were still moments where he said yes out of habit. Still conversations where he adjusted himself without thinking. But now he noticed. And somehow, that made it harder to pretend it was just who he was. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. That feeling that you've been slowly giving parts of yourself away without ever realizing it. And the strange part is, no one else notices when it happens. Only you do. In those quiet moments after everything is over. When it finally feels still. And you realize how little of yourself was actually there.